All right, folks, I'm running a 60-second ad break, and when that break is over, well, then it's stream time. It's time to build the model kit, hang out, talk about our day, talk about our weekend, talk about some anime and some video games and some wrestling. Just kind of hang out, see what's up. Another peek into behind the curtain of the wonderfully terrible world of Twitter. Um, just a chance to hang out and see what's up. A blue sky minute, just the usual Saturday evening fun times. Waiting for this 60-second ad break to end while I'll make a couple pennies. But more importantly, folks that are not currently subscribers won't see ads for the first 20 minutes of the stream, which is nice. Pre-roll ads, I should say. And that's nice that they'll be there. Getting ready for what I think is probably going to be a pretty chill Saturday night. I'm going to get started with that stream in just a moment, so I recommend you get ready for it. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like lurking and not saying anything, go ahead and lurk. You do not have to say anything if you don't want to. Aristofan is here. Hello, Aristofan. We are now into the 6 years of this whole streaming shenanigans. Started in 2017. It's 2023. That's weird. Celebrated the 6-year streaming anniversary on Thursday. It is now, back then it would be a week before I streamed again. Now it's 2 days later. Can you believe you can believe it? You understand it. You know that I stream on Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays every week, and you know the drill at this point. What's the agenda for tonight? We're going to work on the Deathscythe HG High Grade from 2023. It is based on the 2019 Deathscythe with some new parts added, of course, to make it the hell. It is a premium Bandai kit, unfortunately. I wish this was more commonly available. I wish more people could get at it if they wanted it, but still happy that it's something I could pick up. Very happy about that. We'll talk about some Twitter nonsense. We'll talk about a trailer I watched that I have negative feelings about. We'll talk about some anime in the second hour, some wrestling in the first hour, maybe get into some video game news. I don't know. I'm hoping a few more folks decide to join us. I almost said a few more pokes. I'm not looking for any pokes. Don't super poke me on Facebook. But I am hoping that a few more folks decide to join us tonight, because that's always nice. Speaking of which, Lord Crashton is here saying, "Hey Pat, hey to you, Lord Crashton. I hope you're doing well on this fine Saturday evening." I should say, we worked on the. We'll go over to the old top-down view. Worked on the kit here. We finished the head and the chest and the arms of this kit. We got a lot done on Thursday. And I, off stream, finished the feet because the way this piece slots into this piece is really fucking annoying. So I just did it on my own. So the feet are done. So we got that, which is great. So feet are set. Top half of this kit is ready to go. Of course, we're going to work on the we're going to do ankles here. We're going to work on the legs, the waist after that. And if we have time tonight, backpack, the wings, the shield, the drone shield, I should say, the weapon. We got more to do with this kit. We're definitely probably going to finish this up. I would say Monday is my guess, and then I know what we're building after that. Lord Crashton says, got some great news that Oklahoma will be available in American Truck Sim on August 1st. I'm guessing Alex will stream some of that next week. I would assume that Alex will be taking a look at American Truck Simulator expansion. Oklahoma, great. Now when you're driving in Texas, you can go north. You don't have to go northwest. You can just go straight north. That's cool. That's good to hear for fans of either fans of the game or fans of people playing, fans of watching the other people play the game. There's a smoother way to say that, but it wasn't going to come out of me. Let's see. Other things we can chat about here before we really kick off. Well, I mean, working on the Deathscythe. Stickers seem to be holding up here. The gray stickers we put on there seem doing okay. There are more stickers here. We'll have some stickers around the shield, the drone shield, and of course the red sticker that goes on the crotch to match the chest sticker. And then these, I'm 99% sure these are part of the cloaking device wings, because I don't know where else they would go unless some of these are also for the scythe, the double scythe, because of course this kit has 2 beams. It's got a double beam because the hell was an upgrade, so it had cool shit. You got to upgrade the weapons, which in the case of almost every upgrade in the general sense in Gundam Wing was, well, when it's the better version means it has more guns, double guns, more blades, 2 stretchy arms, that kind of thing. Like, it was just like, we'll just do it double. It was the general consensus. I watched Smokey and the Bandit the other day, says Lord Crashington, so I'm a good mood for some trucking. I hear you. Sometimes all you want to do is just play a trucking video game. I understand. Sometimes you just want a sim that, like, is pretty easy breezy and just is the thing you want to do. Let's see. And all right, it is time to get in there. It's time to do this thing. Let's work on some ankles. Let's get our ankle locks applied. And we'll start off with some nonsense from the world of Twitter. Twitter security put out a message that a bunch of the other Twitter accounts retweeted to just kind of get word out there of some upcoming changes. Because they put in a change fairly recently where they defaulted every fucking user to the idea that the only people that could DM you were verified users. So there's people that have Twitter Blue that paid them money, or organizations, but you know what I'm saying. And then you can also send it to anybody and it's just you get a request. So it's not like I have it set up, right? So that anyone can request people that I follow can just DM me. And anyone can request that I look at their message. I don't always look at everyone's, but I try to because, it's nice to put it out there. Well, that's going to be a little different going forward. Because they say, and I quote, "We'll soon be implementing some changes in our efforts to reduce spam in direct messages. Unverified accounts will have daily limits on the number of DMs they can send. Subscribe today to send more messages." Now, is this actually solving a problem by doing this? Of fucking course it's not. Do you think the accounts that get created just to DM people are going to be like, I hit my limit on the DMs I can send on this account. Better go ahead and stop what I'm doing and think about my choices in life? No. They're going to use the other accounts they have because they constantly use accounts because their accounts get banned anyway. That will not stop those people. Will it make anyone get Twitter Blue? Unfortunately, yes. There will be some people. And you've said, Pat, who uses this function? You have it on as like a courtesy. People don't really use this shit. Well, it's a sad state of affairs, but it's true that there are many people on Twitter who use their open DMs as a way to conduct business. Should that be the case? No. But for many years, Twitter was the social media site. And it was how you connect with people you otherwise wouldn't be able to reach out to. So, who does this affect? Artists, craftsmen, People that make things to sell to people at a small enough scale that it doesn't make sense for them to have a website to draw people to, that their work on Twitter as an advertisement for their work outside of Twitter. Let me see if I can. Why can't I connect this properly? Oh, because I'm doing it upside down. That's why. Who else? Well, independent wrestlers. Lots of independent wrestlers get bookings via Twitter because people don't know their email address, but they can find it on Twitter because there's not a big directory of indie wrestlers out there where you can just have your contact info. So if you've heard good buzz about a wrestler and you want to reach out to that wrestler to offer them a job, a gig, a paying gig, you often will do it by sending them a DM because their DMs are open. And, of course, who does this hurt the most? Who could this hurt more than anyone else? And, of course, that's sex workers, who their advertisements is themselves, their what they put out into the world there, not only advertising outside sites, but direct things. There are plenty of people out there that don't have a website on one of these services, that they make boutique content that they exchange for a payment, a direct payment. And the easiest way to negotiate those things, custom content, is to have a way for people to reach out to you, which is Twitter. So it will force many of those folks to get Twitter Blue in an attempt to keep their businesses or their personal projects afloat so they don't miss important DMs by being locked out. Now, does this actually benefit anyone? No. Because it will allow you to be able to reply to people's DMs, no problem. But if they don't have Twitter Blue, they might use up their limit of DMs with people, and they won't be able to respond to you for a given period of time, which will, of course, negatively affect everybody involved. So it's a bummer. It will not dramatically increase, people paying for Blue. It will just it is a continued thing of shooting yourself in the foot by limiting Twitter's ability to be the end-all, be-all website, and the drop in views and usage by people will dramatically decrease its its valuableness. Also, hey, Lashbrook, I should also point out here that destroying the town square platform of record, indeed. An important element to consider with Twitter is that people say, like, oh, well, it's all power users, right? Like, the average Twitter user doesn't post a lot. They don't send DMs. They're just there to read some stuff, and they log in because sometimes they force them to log in, but they're not, it's not a loss, right? The thing that folks seem to forget sometimes, not everybody, but some people seem very quick to forget in these situations, is that the reason why those people are there in the first place, which is to read tweets from people they are interested in. And those people that they're interested in are the ones that are leaving, that are diversifying, that are only using it for publicity and not responding to people. Some people are on Twitter to reach out and positively or negatively to famous people. Some people are there to keep up with their their local scene, be it art or music, or make sure they know when bands they like are playing, or to tweet at comics, why don't you come to my town? And then to not have a response when that comic says, I was there 3 months ago, please subscribe to my newsletter. And they won't. But they will say that again to another comedian in a few months. Um, it's to reply to any celebrity. Come to Brazil. And those people will stop going to it when the people they want to see aren't there anymore. That's why I see so many comics say to people asking why they never come to their area. Yes, Lord Crashington, I wasn't making that up. Their response is generally, please sign up for my mailing list because I email when my tour dates are because you're not seeing my tweets about your town. A fun thing that one of the only good things about Facebook, there was a beautiful little weird period in time where you didn't have to pay money to Facebook to boost pages on Facebook, right? You could just make a group, and if it was popular or if it was relevant to you, you might see it, right? So Paul F. Tompkins, if someone sent a message to him saying, come to my town on Twitter, he would go, start a Facebook group and invite people with the understanding, like, here's what you say in the subject, like, you know, the Paul F. Tompkins, please play Albuquerque Facebook group. Get a lot of people from Albuquerque who are interested in seeing me to join the Facebook group, and when it reaches a certain threshold, I will reach out to, sorry, I got an itch. I will reach out, this is Paul saying, to clubs in Albuquerque, and I will point them at this Facebook group and say, hey, these people all went out of their way to let you know that they would like to see me in the area, blah, blah, blah. And it worked. He ended up going to places he'd never been before because he was able to show bookers, hey, look at this. These people want to see me so bad that they got folks to join the group. And sometimes the crowd was huge. Sometimes the crowd wasn't as huge. It worked for a little while. Now it wouldn't work because Facebook has changed how they operate. They did that years ago. There's no way that you could even get that group any notice or anything like that. And they'd probably shut them down because they thought it triggered some kind of scam alert, even though it clearly isn't one. But yeah, comics have to do so many different things. But the Twitter is not what it was and will never be it again. And when it's a husk of its former self and Elon finally sells it and blames whoever on it not working out, it'll be a thing where people won't flock back to it. At this time, I should also say that Blue Sky today finally got around to, today, Saturday, announced, hey, we're making a Trust and Safety Blue Sky account. This will be the official account. This is our Trust and Safety account. You know, we're not going to say who works in that department or how many people do, but there's a Twitter, not a Twitter account, a Blue Sky account for that. They made an account for it. Also, one of the founders of the company actually apologized for the complete and total fuck up that they did. And if you're unaware of that complete and total fuck up, the short version is they had a document, they had code of usernames that you could not use. They had a big list of usernames that blocked. That list did not include racial slurs. And someone who got an invite made an account of the worst one of, if not the worst ones, the one with the R at the end, the hard R, that one. Someone made that account, and people were rightfully pissed off about that shit, and were like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And no one at Blue Sky said anything for a real long time because they don't have a comms team. They say that they're like moderation team. They reply to messages with moderation team. They don't employ a moderation team. They just have a lot of people that work for them doing everything because they're one of those startups that doesn't learn from other startups. Like, they haven't learned any lessons from the work they did at other companies, and they haven't hired anyone to tell them where they're fucking up. Because if they don't hire anyone to tell them where they're fucking up, then they have deniability. And they basically had a non-apology, and it sucks. And some people, this fucking pisses me off, right? So, like, hey, when it comes to apologies, you don't have, the person listening to me talk right now, you don't have to accept an apology. Ever. And people hate hearing that. That you should always make apologies. But you don't have to accept an apology. If someone wrongs you, it's not on you to be the bigger person. You can be a small person if you want. You don't have to accept an apology. You certainly don't ever have to accept a bad non-apology. But there are a lot of people out there that say, like, oh, you made an apology? Well, that's nice, but I've got in my head that I'm going to hate you forever and no one can ever improve or change. And that's not what that is. That's not what this is here, right? It's never that, right? It isn't. It is never that. It is simply and easily to identify that it's always good to apologize when you fuck up. But it has to be a real apology, and it can't just be an apology. Concrete steps, or at the very least a promise of concrete steps going forward, ways to improve, a game plan. These are all nice things that you can do, that you can say and do in order to show your appreciation for being called out and your willingness to make amends and to grow and to change your perceived betterment. If that's not there, fuck them. You don't have to. And that's basically the thing that, like, immediately pissed me off, because it was like, well, this apology sucks, but there are going to be people that are like, well, they apologized. What do you want? And it's like, change? A real apology? Like some sort of promise to do better? Like, those are always the things you want. I am the way I am. I'm set in my ways about many things. I try to be open about a bunch of stuff. I try to grow as a person. I like to think that I am a better man than I was a year ago, and a far better man than I was 10 years ago. I like to think that 33-year-old Pat Baer, I'm better than that. I'm better than 23-year-old Pat Baer, and I'm better. If I'm not better than 13-year-old Pat Baer, then I really fucked up. But I'm pretty sure 30 years after that, or that I am a better version than I was then. I'd like to think. But there are constants in my life, and one of those constants is that I don't forget being slighted. I'll never forget being slighted. I'm petty I am petty about when I have been hurt, and when I have been taken advantage of, and when people in my life have been hurt and taken advantage of. There is a married couple right now. They are lovely. They are great together. They had an issue a few years ago. One party member has forgiven the other, and they have moved on because their lives are better together. And it's beautiful, and it's lovely, and it's something positive to think about. But I haven't fucking forgotten. I don't bring it up because that's rude as shit. But I know. I remember. And every once in a while, something gets said and there's a laugh. and me and another friend of mine who are on very similar wavelengths, we have in the past shared a look. And that look is, mm-hmm, okay, yeah, sure. There's a guy I used to live with many years ago. I don't remember how long ago. It's been 20 years, 20 years probably. Yeah, I would say it's almost closer to 20 than 15. So somewhere in that range, right? The other day, a friend of mine were commiserating about a bunch of stuff, and that person's name came up, and I said, "I hope he's doing well, and that I hope someday he pays me the $600 that he owes me." And look, he's never going to pay me $600, and I do hope he's doing well. But when our lease was ended, and I was subletting from him, he never gave me my deposit back. And I found out after the fact that he got the full deposit for the apartment back. He just didn't give me or my other roommate our share of the deposit back. Because the deposit he had given was way less at the time because he lived there so many years that I gave the same deposit as the rent I was paying, which was higher than the original deposit. So he would have had to come up with the money on his own, because you would imagine that the difference in that he would have set aside, but he just pocketed that originally, or it went to cover somebody fucking up or whatever. Yeah, need him to do well to be able to pay you back. Yes, Lord Crashington. Look, I'm never going to get that money. I'm never going to get that money, and I know that. We all know I'm never getting that $600. That's fine. That's fine. But it's not fine. And I'll never forget about it. I'll be cordial. It'll be okay. But nah. Nah. That's just not something that, like, he gets to just do. He doesn't get to. He doesn't get to fuck me over like that and put me in a very bad place. Just keep asking for $20. Yeah, no. I mean, I haven't talked to him in years. I don't know how he's doing. I don't know what he's up to. I hope he's well, because I hope well for everyone. Just about. But I must have said this before on stream. There's one comic. I won't publicly. Look, there are many people out there that are garbage human beings, right? There are stand-up comedians and sketch writers and improvisers out there that suck ass. That on a personal level, they are trash people, right? They are garbage. And I got no problem calling out that. This one guy, he's not a bad person. He sucks, but he doesn't suck in a lawsuit way, right? It doesn't prevent, like, how do I want to say this? He sucks in a way that he's not threatening to you, the viewer, right now. You watching this right now, I don't need to tell you that this guy's name for you to know that he sucks, because it's not like a warning. This isn't like, hey, don't be alone with this guy, or hey, don't become friends with this person. Like, it's not that kind of thing, right? He just sucks. But there's a guy, like, years and years ago. This dude, people thought he was fucking brilliant. And sometimes he was. Sometimes he was fucking really smart, very funny. He had a new show. He was going to take it on the road. He was going to do festivals. He was going out overseas to do it. And he was too busy. He had too many projects going on, and he didn't have enough time to work on it. And he was trying it out at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. And I wasn't even teching it. I wasn't doing any kind of tech for it. I was just there. And this dude took it out on the staff. He fucked up, and he blamed it on the tech person. one of my tech people, a person that I hired to do that job, who I knew was fucking good at that job, and like went out of his way to insult the place that I worked at, which I can insult it because they fucked me over on many occasions in the years after that. Chisel says, "Damn, I can't believe Jerry Seinfeld did this to you." Yeah, no, that was not Chisel. It was not Jerry Seinfeld, but this comedian went out of their way to be shitty to my direct employee, the theater that I worked at, the staff that was there, my coworkers and friends, and I, we were all professional. We all did what we needed to do. I talked to the artistic director and I said, like, hey, like, I talked to the tech. They're very upset about this. It's one thing to be like, hey, I was unhappy with what happened here. Hey, I wish that this hadn't happened like it did. But to say it on stage and to like tell people in the crowd not to do your shows in the venue, that those people paid money to come do it, and these set of shows were literally a favor to this performer, it's just like, nah, we're done forever. Years later, that person would have a TV show that wasn't doing very well and was hard to work on. It did okay. It did okay in ratings. It just didn't do well in production. Episodes were coming in late. Reshoots were happening. It became very expensive. And the solution that he had was to fire his head writers, because he was one of 3 head writers. He was going to fire the head writers. I should mention at this point that the head writers for that show were his best friends. He fired his best friends to save his show, which it didn't. So this particular person was a piece of work. Oofta. Yeah, I try not to say anything too bad about people to other people. I try to be professional in my professional life. I talk shit when it's time to talk shit. And like when time to call people out, I will call people out, because that is like, you got to do that. You got to be like, especially now that I am not really in that industry anymore, because I do not have any work in that field. Like, I'm way more freer to just be like, yeah, this sucks, that sucks. Like, if I thought I was going to get rehired by the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, I wouldn't make fun of the fact that the founders of the company sold the name and the business to a hedge fund. Like, I wouldn't talk shit about that if I thought I was going to get hired again. But since I know I'm not, it fucking makes me really sad. Like, I'm seeing announcements about their New York theater finally reopening, and they hired people I really like to be their 2 people, I should say, I really like to be the co-artistic directors, and they're saying all the right things, and they're hiring up some teachers that I think are incredible at improv and sketch, and it's going to be fun. And I hear the new venue is cool, and that's awesome. But like, the people that like own the majority of the Dodgers own the Upright Citizens Brigade, and there's nothing less cool than being owned by a hedge fund. Like, that's just, that company has not been punk rock since 1999, but for damn sure, there's no way anyone would consider them to be punk rock. When Rob Riggle got SNL, the first improviser who trained at UCB to make SNL, it was not punk rock anymore. But the vibe, we tried to keep the vibe going. But yeah, once you're owned by a hedge fund, it's like, nah. Nah, that just doesn't work anymore. Very silly. Shenanigans. Lots of shenanigans there. Had a great time when I worked there for many years. Miss a lot of the people. Don't miss a lot of the nonsense, but miss a lot of the people. Whole lot of the people. And I miss teching. I miss being in a booth and doing the work. I miss seeing comedy 4 or 5 or 6 nights a week. All the people involved. And, when people get to start doing cool shit, when people get booked for cool shit that they're doing, I'm very proud. Especially people that are doing stuff that, like, means a lot to people. It's, like, very heartwarming. Makes me feel good that people are out there doing things and affecting people in a positive way. And especially people that I knew from my time or around there. Makes me happy to see. But, yeah. I don't know. There's some shitheads out there. The thing I always said, and we'll move on after I say this, the thing that I always said in the comedy world was, we're not making any money, so I don't have any time for assholes. Because when I was doing, in improv groups, we didn't make money doing improv anywhere. It cost us money because we had to rent space for rehearsals and rent space for performances and get coaches and get directors. And if we got a venue, then we got to get someone to run lights and sound for it. And we got to pay those people and do all that. And it was an expensive fucking hobby to have, or, and all of that. People did sketch shows, had to buy props for it and costumes and do all that and get rehearsal space and pay for coaches and directors and all this other stuff. It was very expensive to do all that. And it was like, well, we're getting training and we're having a good time. Like, why would I want to work? Like, why would I want to work with people that suck ass, that are shitty? Like, I only ran into maybe a couple people that were talented enough to be assholes. Like, if one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life can be one of the nicest people in my life, then I don't need your attitude. Because, like, hey, funny dude, you're not funnier than Brian Stack, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Not even in comedians. I'm going to say, top 5 nicest, most genuine, most realist, most honest, most lovely people I've met in my entire life is writer, comedian Brian Stack, who you most maybe know best as one of the guys that did all of the weirdest bits for Conan. Stack did the, like, the best one is The Interrupter. That one is incredible. There's, one of my favorites of all time. They had various incarnations where they dressed him as different versions of Frankenstein for no reason. Stack is incredible, very funny and talented guy, nicest person in the world. So I don't need your attitude because you're not funnier than that. Or, oh, you're a good actor? Oh, you're a talented comedic actor? Are you nicer than Kate McKinnon? Because Kate McKinnon is a fucking doll. She is so warm, so lovely to be around, so fucking smart and quick and fun. She doesn't do bits. She's just a real, honest, comedic person. Like, if you're not, like, more talented than Kate McKinnon, you can't be mean to me. Because who the fuck are you? Just like so many people who were so wonderful that I've come to know in my life in comedy, that it's just like, nah. There's like a couple people who are like talented enough to be shitty. Kate is just an incredibly funny, grounded, wonderful performer. And like a dear, like a lovely person. And there are people who are like, look, I'm not talking about weird when I talk about this. I'm talking about mean. I don't got time for mean. I got all the time in the world for weird. You ever watch a late night talk show with Aubrey Plaza and you're like, hey, why are you doing this weird bit, Aubrey? Why are you so weird right now? That's not a bit. She's weird. Like, Plaza, I didn't talk to Plaza like the first year she was doing stuff at UCB because she just didn't talk to anyone. She talked to like 3 or 4 people. She was in a weird position, which I should have understood. She had just gotten out of college. She was dating someone that had been in the community, that was a respected man in the community. They had dated while he was in the same school, right? And then they dated long distance, and then she moved to New York. So like she comes in, doesn't know anyone. Everyone knows her boyfriend. An assumption that haunted her, that sucks, that wasn't put on her, but I wasn't super aware of at the time because I was not the best version of myself, was that like, hey, new person in the scene, dating a guy that everyone likes and respects and thinks is really cool. Oh, she's trying to sleep her way up to the top. Oh, not knowing their history and their connection. That shit sucks. And she was a weirdo. So, like, Aubrey was, like, all over the place and, like, hard to, like, figure out. One day, she came back apparently from, like, a work thing that she had been drinking at and came into the tech booth and started, like, she wasn't going to touch anything, but she was going to play a game with me where she was almost going to touch stuff. So she'd be like, oh, I'm going to move this slider. And I'm like, I'm working right now. What are you doing? And she starts doing all this stuff. And then I'm like, stop it. And I'm actually getting annoyed because she might actually touch something. And then I just go, we've never spoken before. And then she just stopped what she was doing. And she was like, I'll say hi to you next time. And left. And I was like, okay, great. And we were fast friends from that point on. Because eventually, in her drunken state, she recognized that she was giving us a rapport that we did not have and was not warranted. Like, I had tried to talk to her before because she was dating my friend. And I was like, well, I should get to know this girl. And I've seen her do improv and she's really funny. And, I mean, it didn't matter if she was funny or not. She was dating someone that I liked and admired. And so I was like, oh, I should probably get to know her. And she was just like, not vibing with it. And then later I realized, like, oh, okay. But when she does stuff like gets on stage to demand an award that isn't hers, or is just weird in interviews, it's just like, yeah, no, that's her. She's just like a nice weirdo. Like, yeah, all right. Like, that's just her. I got all the time in the world for those people because they are just weirdos, and I love that. I loved and continue to love, in hindsight, that I worked at a place that became a home for a bunch of wonderful weirdos. Like, a lot of very talented, wonderful goofballs came through the place that I work. And, like, some of them aren't in comedy anymore. Some of them never had it was just a hobby. They were never looking for it. Some moved on to the other side of the camera. They're producing roles and directing, and going through all of that. Some of them found their way back into comedy or different routes, or they're legit actors and doing other stuff. Some, I have no idea where the fuck they are or what they're up to and what they're doing. And I hope they're well. But, yeah, I always loved that there were just like so many goddamn goofy ass people coming through that I got to spend some time with. And on occasion, give a job to for a little period of time, make it a little easier, make sure they can get some free classes, hang out, talk shit about people with them, do improv together and see what's up. Like, I don't know. I'm proud of all of that nonsense. But going back to where we were coming from with this conversation, through many tangents, a few of them, I'll never fucking forget what they said to me or did to me. And I'll never forget that. Sorry. It's just like, no, you don't get, bygones cannot be bygones. Like, I'll move past things. I'll be professional. Because I've also fucked up in my life. And I don't want my fuck ups that I've earnestly worked hard to improve myself upon. Like, I don't want those to negatively affect me for the rest of my life. I'd like people to be like, oh, no, well, Yeah, that sucks. But, Pat was like 21 when that happened. And, like, we're all adults here. We could figure that stuff out. So I extend that courtesy because I would like that courtesy extended to me. Um, but sometimes it's just like, fuck that guy forever. Nah, we're good. Yeah, I don't know. I'll talk a little bit about some wrestling here. I did not watch all of Death Before Dishonor, the Ring of Honor pay per view, because it's a long pay per view, but I did watch some of it today. And people have asked me because I have people that like they know they can ask me for wrestling stuff, and people have asked me like, "Hey, what's up with this new Ring of Honor?" Because like you have to pay a membership, you have to be a member. It's like a subscription service, but some of the people on there are on AEW. Like, what's up? And this is what I tell them. Ring of Honor is there are some exceptions to this, but in the most part, it is all of the wrestlers that I wish had time on AEW television, given an opportunity to do cool shit in front of a very small audience, much smaller audience, and that's a bummer. So like Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, the founding members of the Dark Order, those men have been tag team partners for many different iterations for many years. They were player one and player uno and player dos in Chikara. They've been together through thick and thin for many, many years. And they had a match where Dark Order, Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver fought with their brother, Stu Grayson, and his new creepy friends, the Righteous. And that shit wasn't on AEW television or AEW pay-per-view, and that bums me out that that's on a Ring of Honor show. Because that's not a fucking Ring of Honor feud. But it is. Like, Samoa Joe versus Dalton Castle feels like it could have been on TV. It didn't need to be a Ring of Honor thing. Like, obviously, Dalton Castle, not the biggest name in the world, not moving any places, like not moving the needle for everybody, but get the fuck on board because Dalton Castle rules. But Dalton Castle versus Samoa Joe, it's just like, that's behind it. I mean, it was behind a pay-per-view, but like, the build to that is behind a paywall, and that bums me out. Obviously, you got to have a cable package to watch TBS and TNT, or you got to pay for Fight Plus and also have a VPN. Everything is a paywall. I don't pay for cable, but my parents do, so it's all okay. It's all that everything's connected in there. No wrestling is free on a channel, and you could just get it. Like I understand that's not a thing to really say, but there are some matches on here that are killer that would have been great to see somewhere else. Also, when I said Ring of Honor is the place that people you like get to wrestle, they often also don't fucking win. I'm not gonna spoil the matches here. One title changed hands. One title. The tag titles changed hands. There are new tag champions. No other title changed. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. I think you need movement in any belt. Otherwise, it's just place setting. And I don't know. It's just wasting people's time. You got to have some belt change hands. Plus sides, Athena and Willow main evented. That rules. That's fucking dope as hell. Because they work so well together, and that's awesome. Very happy to see that. A match last night is leading to a match that's happening on Dynamite. On Dynamite, we're getting Pac versus Gravity. There's a luchador wrestler named Gravity. He is facing against Pac, and there might only be one of you right now who understands why that is very funny. Beyond it being cool, because it is cool, it's also incredibly funny. And I'm going to explain the joke, but I needed to explain the joke. So, Pac, he wrestled as Neville in the WWE, and his nickname was the man Gravity Forgot. So the man Gravity Forgot is facing a wrestler named Gravity. And that's stupid that that's happening. That's the kind of thing that a booker at an indie show books and is high-fiving people about how dumb that is. This is the kind of thing that Chuck Taylor would come up with, a wrestler named Gravity, just because he knew that Pac was working for the same promotion for a while, and he would have pitched that. Because it's very funny to have Pac versus Gravity. They aren't even going to be able to joke about it properly. Because to joke about it would be to say, use the catchphrase, the man Gravity Forgot. And they won't, because that was another promotion. It rules. It's like if they had a match with Brian Cage and Ethan Page and Christian Cage and Adam Page, which they won't, because everyone makes fun of the fact that there are a lot of wrestlers in that company that have similar names. It is very funny. I don't know if that hits you the way it hits me, but it makes me laugh very much that that match is happening on Wednesday. Also, great for Gravity. Page from the Cage, indeed, Lord Crashes. Great for Gravity to get a spotlight on television facing against Pac. That's awesome. Good for him. That rules. But that's very silly. Any other matches that stood out to me? I haven't seen Shibata and Daniel Garcia. I have been told that even while locked in a submission, Daniel Garcia was still dancing, and that's very funny. Very few wrestlers in the world can have "I wrestle at you" as a gimmick, as a heat gathering gimmick, and I appreciate that. Appreciate the skill in that. We got the loop on the back of this kit here. That's for the pole for the saber. If you just want to have it on the back here, on the butt, you can do that. We'll take a pause for the cause. We're going to come back and work on this here. But we need to take a pause for the cause, talk about ways you can support the channel, do all that. We'll talk about some anime. Maybe we'll talk about some news of the world and some stuff you're working in, all that. But yeah, we're going to go to this screen. I'm going to take a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk about ways that's right, you can support what I do here. Everything I'm about to talk about here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. But if you would like to get on board, you're more than welcome to. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money, through your Prime Gaming token, if you have Amazon Prime link with your Twitch. You could gift a sub. You could, hey, we got Bobby and Shot Point and Aristofan in the gift sub leaderboard, which is very kind. And we appreciate that very much. That is a way to support what I do here. It's the easiest way. It's right through here. And you get some cool emotes. You don't see ads during my stream. It's great. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on the Patreon, there's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining my Patreon. People ask me all the time, what's the best way to support you? Any way you're comfortable with. I get the most money from Patreon, but you get the most rewards from Twitch. Meaning you don't see terrible ads and your your viewing habits don't get interrupted. And modes are fun, but mostly it's you don't see ads. So like probably do Twitch, but like Patreon, like I get the most bang for the buck. And there's most, range of prices there. YouTube.com/PatBear is my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube. I post videos every Wednesday, every other Monday. This past week, I put up a bunch of videos. Take a look, see if there's something there that you would like. A bunch of different content there. Should I have a YouTube channel dedicated to each pursuit and interest of mine? Yes. I refuse. But yes, I should do that. I'm not going to do that. It's a variety YouTube channel, which is not the best idea, but whatever. I won't bend on that. Also, there's memberships there. You can become a member, $2 a month to get my Wednesday videos on a Tuesday, so you get them a little early. Direct donations, also good. During the stream, if you donate to my coffee or my PayPal or my Stream Elements, everything I make through that, that's a one-time. You can just do that if you want. Everything I make through that, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund and I buy model kits. When this went up for pre-order on Premium Bandai, I got it because I had the funds available because of your generosity. Past you helped me out, or somebody else. It wasn't you. But I was able to pick up this kit then because of your generosity, which is fucking rad. I've got a bunch of kits in the backlog that I'm excited to be building. But there's a way to make me not work on those. Maybe you don't want me to see me build the AE-86 from Initial D, but with a knockoff that's not Lego, another company, Mold King. Who the fuck is Mold King? You don't want to see that. You don't want to see me build Suletta, the figure model kit. Bobby just subscribed 31 months. Thank you so much, Bobby. Appreciate that. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. Thank Bobby for renewing their sub. 31 months is so many months, Bobby. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. If you don't want to see me build the stuff I have in my backlog, I got a Lego set from a movie franchise that I've never built Lego from before. It is a lot of months. I'm not going to work on that. If you buy something from my Amazon wish list, anything bought on my wish list will jump the queue. It'll become the next thing that I build. It will. I'll say no to my backlog. Work on the thing you purchased. That's the promise there. Let's see. Let me take a look at this wish list here because I got a couple different ways you can support that way. But the Amazon wish list is probably the easiest. I've got Lego sets. I got inexpensive kits. I got expensive kits. Ooh, that went up in price, so I'm going to move that there. The SD kit, the X Standard Witcher Mercury, the Aerial SD, is on sale right now. That's $15. That's a good little price for that. But yeah, I got model kits that are inexpensive, model kits that are very expensive, stuff that's always on sale, stuff that never seems to drop in price. It only gets more expensive. Some weird old kits, some expensive old kits, bunch of different stuff, and some gear because it's always nice to have gear as an option. Because maybe you're out there and you're going, Pat, I want to support you, but I don't know anything about model kits and I don't want to be bothered. But, oh, you need a chair? I will buy you a chair. Like, that might be right. Hey, this table I'm building right now was bought off my wish list. Someone was just like, oh, you need a new table? Sure, I will get you a new table, Pat. It's very kind. I have a throne wish list. That is a much smaller list, but you can check that out if that's something you'd like to take a look at there. Maybe you don't want to shop through Amazon. Warranted. And also there's surprise gifts there. If you want to buy me something that I don't know what you're buying, I don't know why. I made it so it shouldn't be able to buy me anything in some degrees of weird. But if you want to buy me like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I guess you could buy me Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't know. That's a thing. And then you can always go to USA Gundam Store, the most complicated way, the most steps. Go to USA Gundam Store, create an account there, buy a gift card, receive your email with your gift card code, send me the gift card code in a DM, because my DMs are open for now anyway, or a whisper on Twitch. That's the most complicated way to support me financially. And as I said, I'll make a video about all those things. I have a Discord. If you want to support me on Discord, you could do that. That's a pretty cool place. Hop on the Discord. It's pretty fun. Pretty laid back. Video links. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I put up a new one this week, Pat Bear's Anime Club, where I'm talking about all of the isekai that's out this season. We won't be talking about any isekai tonight, but I watch isekai on several of these 8 I'm watching. And I talk about all of them, so you can check the video out there if you haven't already. Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I create a new character piece or a piece of comedy that I have written and I have rehearsed at least a couple times. It is barely rehearsed, but I have rehearsed it. This is my favorite kind of sketch. It's a list. It's a list of fake movie sequels and fake movies. The character I am playing is someone who, because he's on strike, cannot complete these works and is telling you what movies are being postponed, and one TV show. It's silly. It's fun. I enjoyed coming up with it. It's the most fun I have is writing, is coming up with stupid movie titles. And like, there's like the idea that in a year I would make 3 movies in a new franchise that has a dumb name. That's in there. At least one movie sequel that I think is very funny, Back for the Future, I think is honestly a clever, terrible name, because instead of Back to the Future, because it's the 4th movie, it would be Back for the Future, right? You could see that being a movie title. I think I was happy with that one. I think that one's pretty clever. I say it early in the video, so I'm not spoiling anything. All right, we're going to talk about some anime here in just a moment. But before I talk about anime, a thing I need to do is I got to drink some water and I got to take my meds. Because I'm on new meds that require me to take them around 10 o'clock. So I'm going to do that. I recommend you get some water while I dramatically transition to the overhead and take my meds. And we'll be back here for more model kit building in just a moment after this dramatic transition to the overhead camera. Here we go. All right. Dramatic. Boom. Anime. We're talking about it. I got 2 shows talking about. Neither of these are an isekai, which is weird for me because I watch a lot of isekai, but not on the weekends here. Also, neither of these shows are shows that air on Friday or Saturday because I just haven't found any on those days that I like. I think these are both Wednesday shows. Anyway, these are weekday shows that I heard good things about and decided I really wanted to chat about them. We'll start with the cute one, and then we'll get into the weird one. We're going to start with Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. Now, Lawrence is not the name. This got brought up. A friend of mine was like, he's not Lawrence. That's not his name. It isn't. It's Lauren. It's Lauren is what the voice actress of Cecilia says. But it is translated in the English manga and in the anime adaptation as Lawrence. So I'm going with Lawrence even if she says Lauren or Lauren. I'm going with Lawrence because it's just easier. At this point, it's just fucking easier just to say the name that they want him to be. What is this show? This is a slice of life. It is a cute, maybe romantic comedy, but at least it is a cute comedy about a pastor, young pastor in a village, grew up in that village, and his charge, the person that he is protecting, a a young saint named Cecilia. She's not like a nun, but she has gifts from God, and is like a living saint. And he is out there. He is basically like he found her when she appeared in the village. He was there to help find her. We've gotten a little bit of a look into their relationship. It is very obvious that Cecilia likes Lawrence, and Lawrence really cares about Cecilia, but not in a crush sort of way. But everybody knows that spends any time with any of them that Cecilia likes Lawrence. Also, she's lazy, and nobody else knows that because she's only her true self in front of Lawrence, which he doesn't apparently understand the significance of. Anyway, the first episode was a lot of like their, running into people and their interactions, and very cute and occasionally very flirty. It is a lovely little series so far that I very much enjoyed the first episode. And the second episode, it's time to meet Abel. Abel is Lawrence's childhood friend. He has another pastor. He works in another church. He doesn't like the people there, so he's ducking out to come out hang out here, which means that he will not do any work because he is a lazy bones. Abel kind of knows Cecilia, but not well. There's a whole weird interaction between the two of them, but you get the sense that Lawrence has been trying to protect Cecilia from the church. Multiple members of the church, and anyway, Cecilia tries to talk to Abel about Lawrence. There's some teasing where Abel's like, oh yeah, he's got a sweetheart. The scriptures are his sweetheart. It's just like teasing her, and just like, kind of cute, kind of fun little shenanigans. Abel doesn't understand why Lawrence hasn't realized how Cecilia feels about him, but that's because he considers himself to be her caretaker. And you're like, they've got to reevaluate, like recategorize how they feel about one another, like if they want to move on and they want to get in a relationship. Let's see. When Abel goes out for a walk, Cecilia can kind of relax and be her true self. Cecilia is not concerned about how Lawrence feels about her or like sees her because he knows the real her, and he's comfortable and she's comfortable around him. Just nice stuff. Let's see. We get a montage of Cecilia and Lawrence performing their duties, and Abel not really doing anything. We learn from Abel partly during some flashbacks that, so in the first episode, we didn't really see them, but there were spirits around that Cecilia was like, hey, stop following Lawrence around. It makes me jealous. And we're like, oh, that's weird. And we didn't really dwell on it. Apparently, spirits, positive and negative, and demons, negative, all really like Lawrence. They love hanging out with Lawrence. He doesn't see them. He can't perceive them. And the power that they have makes him not feel well. So Cecilia kind of shoos them away. And she has to be careful because she wants to protect him, but sometimes she puts too much of her own divine power in him, which also hurts him. Ladies love cool Lawrence. Indeed. Everybody's interested in Lawrence. There's something about him that attracts demons and angels and spirits to just like see what's up. They just want to check in with him. But that's bad for him because he doesn't have a good defense against their powers. We also learn that Abel was here to check on Lawrence because he was worried about his health. And it also, when Cecilia's not around, apparently Abel has been running interference because there are certain people that don't know about Cecilia and how powerful she is. Um, there's a and then there's this lovely little thing, right? Lawrence wasn't feeling well. He gets up. Who's in the kitchen? Well, it's Cecilia and it's um, Abel, and they've been making something. They're trying to make some food because Lawrence always cooks, and Cecilia wanted to return the favor and cook something for him, right? Very cute, very fun. Now, normally, this would be the part where her cooking is bad, right? And he like grins and bears. No, it's good. It doesn't look good, but it is good because she put a lot of like her love and heart into it and did a good job. And he's like, "Yeah, well, taste it. You did a great job with this." And then so he feeds her a little bit of food, and that really embarrasses her. So she runs away because she's like, and it's very fucking cute. It's a cute little show. Um, but apparently nobles, like the church knows about her, but there are nobles that don't know. And apparently Lawrence and Abel are trying to keep them from knowing. Because Cecilia is very powerful. And that's the episode. So lots of cute moments, some real fun things. I think Abel is there as someone that knows Lawrence, and Lawrence can kind of be himself around. Is a nice addition of a character. We need to have a few more characters in there. It can't just be these cute characters interacting with one another. Like we got to have a little more going on. It is a great show. I think the animation is fine. I don't think it's like incredible, but I think it's like totally serviceable, and like it doesn't really need to be unbelievable. It can just be good because the voice acting is really fun and the performances are good and the writing is really solid. It's a lovely little show. This is one of those sleeper shows. I don't know anyone else talking about Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. It started a little late in the season. It's one of the last new shows to come out. In a Discord where it is lots of anime fans. I think there's like one other person that mentioned it, but I don't think they're actively watching it. So I think it's just me holding down the fort. So I think it's good. I'm enjoying it. Undead Murder Farce, which the manga is called Undead Girl Murder Farce. This was not the strongest episode. There's a lot of fucking exposition in this one, and it's exposition that doesn't have a payoff yet, and so I feel like I'm going to have to watch the beginning of episode 3 again later. So I'm not even going to go into all of the exposition. Oh, we're basically body complete on this kit, by the way. We got to do the backpack next, which is pretty easy to build. We'll do the backpack, and then we'll start working on the wings, which again have lots of stickers, so it'll be all right. Let's get this backpack together here while I talk to you about this thing here. We need C2, 15, and 14. This is C2, 15, and 14. Great. So, what's Undead Murder Farce? We've got this guy. He has Oni blood. He's got demon blood in him. He eventually will lose his mind and his faculties. And he has previously been trying to die in a blaze of glory because he knew his time was coming. He meets the head of a woman, Aya, just a head. She's just a head at this point. She's an immortal. Someone cut off her head and took her body somewhere. She met him because she's looking to die. And demons, the Onis, can stop the regeneration properties of immortals. And he's like, and she can point him at a way for him to get his sense of normalcy back and not lose his mind, his faculties, and become a beast. And he's like, okay, well, it sounds like the person that cut off your head is the same person that cursed me to be part demon. Why don't we go get your body back? Fuck up this person, and then, if you want, I'll kill you. For real. If you're tired of it. But once you get your body back, maybe you'll feel different. And she's like, deal. So, in order to track him down, they figured out the best way is to be, she's already doing this anyway, to be the world's greatest detective. Second episode, that's the first episode. Second episode, vampire. Dracula is dead, apparently. We don't see it. There's a family of vampires. The wife vampire gets murdered. And it's the first since the alliance between vampires and the like integration of vampires into human society. It's the first like well-documented murder. So they got to figure out what's going on. So they bring in Aya and our boy to Segura. Oh, sorry. Sugaru to kind of figure out what's going on. That's where we're at the beginning of this episode. Got to solve this murder. So there's a lot of backstory, and again, I don't know how of like exposition dumps and characters who I don't know what they mean or who they are. There's a guy named Hugo. That's the only, and Hugo's dead, and I think that's the only person we really need to like figure out what's going on with there, because it was otherwise pretty complicated, and also I think they're just dropping in some stuff till later you can go like, oh, and feel smart. But right now I don't feel smart. I'm just confused about what's going on. So, Aya does some deduction. People are very interested, and they think she's a great detective because she makes some clear and present observations about people there. And they're like, oh, and they kind of compare her to Sherlock Holmes, because guess what? Sherlock Holmes is around. Also, the guy, the person they're trying to track down that cut off Aya's head and stole her body, and probably also is the person behind our boy becoming a demon. He's got a cane with an M on it. It's probably Moriarty. Should they have done better of keeping that a surprise? Yes, but it's probably Moriarty. Who else in this world would have that? Anyway, Sherlock Holmes gets referenced, and you know, that's a big compliment. They're like, oh, it's a regular Sherlock Holmes over here. Basically, everyone explains where they were at the time, like after dinner, in a time when, 40 Gumball 420 just subscribed for 3 months, saying, hey, hope you're having a great weekend. Thank you very much, 40. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote, the tier 2 blue emote if you're tier 2 in the chat. And thank 40 for renewing their sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have been having a pretty damn good weekend. It's been pretty lackadaisical. We had a lot of rain just a little while ago, which will hopefully cool things off around here. But yeah, I've been doing all right. So the most of this episode is various characters explaining where they were at the time of the murder, so that they can kind of piece together who the suspects are, right? So we get a lot of testimony. We kind of learn where they were in and out of the house and their relationships. Aya is like, it might be Claude, it might be Alfred, and then people are kind of crying. The daughter's feeling her feelings. A thing that I think is very funny is that like Claude is like, hey, I didn't kill my mom, but just so you know, if given half the chance, I'll murder that dude, who was Suguru. Which is very funny. He's like, hey, just so you know, I'm not a murderer. I will murder. I didn't murder this woman. I just think it's very funny. It's like, I didn't kill my mom, but I will kill you. I don't know. I thought it was great. I was like, I was paying attention to the hands of all the vampires because a silver stake was used, and it ruins vampires' regeneration. So if a vampire had used that, then it would be easy to have notice and signs. But none of them have any marks. So it could mean that Alfred, the butler, the butler could have done it. Like, it could be one of the humans that work for the family in the house. There's a whole thing about the Oni and the Immortal in the forest. And then a character that was in the end of the second episode who I fucking forgot about. There's a character in the second episode that was a vampire hunter. All of a sudden, like from out off frame, a crossbow bolt goes right into the father, the husband who hired them, the vampire Goddard. There's just a crossbow bow bolt in his neck. And he's just like, immediately just like, who did this to me? What's going on? I have stuff going on, dude. And just immediately like takes the this person down whose name is Joseph or Yosef. He's like, this could be the guy that killed my wife. And vampire hunter, vampires are now integrated in society. One could imagine that vampire hunters are now out of work. It's possible that this could be this dude. But he's got an alibi. He just arrived in town, and he was in Berlin 3 days ago. So he didn't kill Hannah, who is the wife and mother and vampire who was murdered. So it's like, it couldn't be me. I wasn't in town. So he's got an alibi. He's here to avenge the death of Hugo, who, again, was kind of this vague thing in the beginning of the episode that doesn't really matter too much in the long thing of it, but whatever. Now we have a vampire hunter to deal with. And then is like, yeah, we can let him go because, he doesn't get what's going on here. And he'll know not to go wander around the forest getting into people's fucking business. Hopefully. So then we go back to the mansion because it's time to crack this case wide open, which will be the next episode. So, what did I think of episode 3 of Undead Murder Farce? It served the purpose it had to serve. It wasn't the best episode so far. I mean, the first episode had a half demon murdering demons at a carnival show, like a sideshow, and then a fight with a maid to reveal that the maid was testing him to see if he was strong enough to murder her employer, who is just a head in a bird cage. And the second episode was just like about vampire society, and then a vampire got murdered. So, this is a show where they casually mention, well, now that Dracula's dead, it's just like, what? We're not going to see. This is not a show about defeating Dracula. This is a show about like vampires integrating in society after Dracula has been murdered or defeated. It's just like, okay, this is a weird show. I'm really liking it. This wasn't the strongest episode because they're not all going to be strong. This was a lot of backstory. Now we'll hopefully get to see Aya using her detective skills and solving this case. And then they'll move on. So I like that this isn't a case of the week. This is not a one episode in and out. We solve the thing, we go on. I like that there's some detail to this. There's some, it's going to take a little while to solve these cases. They're not just one and done, like, oh, it was that. I'm enjoying that. I think the atmosphere is really fun. I think the animation quality is solid. It is a cool show. It is not exactly what I was expecting when I read the description at first. I was like, I don't know about this. But people whose opinion I highly regard were really amped for this series, and so I gave it a shot. And they're right; it's really good. So yeah, I'm a fan of it. I think it is pretty solid. Oh, I put this on backwards. Let's see if I can fix that. I jumped past the wings to build the scythe because I really wanted to build the scythe. You know what I mean? Like, it's the Deathscythe. I wanted to build the scythe for it. We'll go back and do the wings because that'll be hard. It'll be hard, but it's like there's a lot to build with the wings for both sides. There's a lot of parts. There's some stickers. we're at the point now tonight where I'm like, I don't really want to fucking build sticker. I don't want to do anything with stickers. So instead, we'll just build build that. All right, is this doing what it's supposed to do? Yeah, it is. Great. Also, this kit, of course, comes with the disassembled scythe. If you were some kind of weirdo that didn't want your Deathscythe to have it, you could just have this plugged into the back, because that's where he stores the scythe. That's where Duo stores it. But we'll just keep that in there like it's an extra. We won't keep that in there. That's right. Because with these kits, that does pop out all the time. So, but that's where you could put it if you wanted to. So we'll just leave that aside. But we could do that. If we didn't want to have the full beam, we could do that. But again, I don't know why you would. Why you wouldn't make it just like the cool full effect. But I guess you have the option. I guess it's nice to have options. Sometimes I remember the Deathscythe, this Deathscythe that this is based on here, the 2019 Deathscythe. I remember the blade didn't quite fit perfectly into the scythe here. So if that is the case in this one, then I will use a little glue here with cement, but I think this will be fine. 40 says, so I moved a while back and had some paint markers, lining pens, and my side cutters in a paper bag in a box, and I cannot find them. It's driving me nuts. That's so frustrating, right? Like, you know there's a bag somewhere amongst your stuff that has these things. Yeah, that's really frustrating. When I moved here, I shipped a bunch of stuff, and then I took a bunch of stuff together. But when I shipped stuff, I made sure that that all of my stuff, like it wasn't, I didn't have a lot of things because I put a bunch of stuff in storage, but I made sure that all of my gear that I needed to keep doing this, I made sure all of that was easily labeled so I could find it. Because yeah, that would be a nightmare. And there was like one or two things that went into storage that I wish hadn't gone into storage, but for the most part, everything worked out okay. All right. I have now panel lined as much as I want to of this. We got ourselves a Deathscythe, everybody. Erase some stuff here. I want to hear from you, friends. What are you working on? What are you watching right now? Did you go to the movies this weekend? Did you see anything? See older stuff? What's got your interest? What are you up to here? Even though I have completed everything in Power Wash Simulator, I found myself back in Power Wash Simulator because every once in a while I just want to do some shit in Power Wash Simulator. I like it. So I was back to that for a little bit. I'm slowly making my way through Persona 4 Golden with mods. I'm going to double check because I haven't checked this in a couple days. Let's see. Are any new mods here on... Let's see. No new mods that I want to add in here. Oh, there's a crane game rebalance. That's actually... I don't think I'm ever going to really need the crane game, but that is nice. That I'm going to mark that. I should download that. I don't even remember where the crane game is, but apparently there's a crane game. Oh, it's by the movie theater. Okay. All right, I might download that because you never know. It would be nice to have that a cheat, so I might get that from Game Banana here. That's good to know. But yeah, I've been playing that. I did load up today Pokemon Platinum because I'm doing my Pokemon Platinum randomizer run. So we were in Mount Moon, and we had to get to the top of Mount Moon. We had to get outside of Mount Moon because eventually we have to stop the head of Team Galactic from doing his dark business. And I got lost. I got unbelievably lost trying to do that. Couldn't for the life of me figure out where I need to go and what I need to do. Could not get that to work. I have since figured it out. I used a guide and followed that guide. It was a video guide. This is kind of cool. You might like this. This video guide is from 14 years ago. It is someone recording themselves. They have I assume they have a Game Boy Advance thing to link. They have like a link cable. So they're using their Game Boy Advance on a TV, and it's them filming a television, playing the game, so that they can get, and I just watch that and then follow it along. And I haven't gone outside yet, but I'm in the spot now where there's only one way to go, and I can now get outside. We'll still have to like fight through the snow, like this next episode on Tuesday, because that'll be Tuesday's stream. We'll still have to do through the bit. I'm not going to skip anything, so I didn't skip anything important other than the only thing I skipped is Looker. Basically acknowledged that we're better than he is, which we knew ahead of time because he's like, all right, well, I'll leave it to you. And then we're like, what? And he's like, well, yeah, I can't defeat anyone. This is over my head, so I'll leave it to you, child, to defeat the bad guys. So we're getting that far. So at the very least, I know where we need to go, because you may remember I couldn't figure out where to go, and I couldn't figure out what to do, and I ended up just seeing if I could do something else, like go to the last gym, and they wouldn't let me go to the last gym until I saved the day. So we have to go and save the day. We're doing it. We're going to do it, though. We're going to save the day. It's going to be great. That's on Tuesday. Now, you've said, Lord Crash has said, I think I'll go see Barbie on Monday. Nice. Yeah, I mean, you know me. Right now, not interested in going to the movies at all, so I'm not going to see either movie, but I'm happy they exist, and I'm happy people are having a good time at the movies. That's just not my interest here. Oops, I think I put this on wrong. Lord Christian says, I finally finished Act 1 in Diablo 4, which seemed to never end. Now I start Act 2 at level 34. Yeah, I mean, that game is all over the place. I've really enjoyed my time with it, but it is like strange how you can just kind of do whatever in it, and it's just like the acts kind of don't matter until they do matter. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Aristophan started up Pikmin 4. Quite fun. I haven't played one since the original on the GameCube. On the side, I've been playing Cupid Nonogram, which is a cute little Picross type game on Steam. Ooh, that sounds fun, Aristophan. Murder by Numbers, I got it for free because it was one of the free games on Epic. I went and downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet. I might try that out tomorrow. I will have some time for shenanigans tomorrow, and so that might be a thing that I do, is to go check that shit out. So that will that exactly be what I end up doing tomorrow? I don't know, but I did get the game, so I might try it out. Murder by Numbers was a lot of fun. Played it on Switch launch. Nice, and John. Yeah, I mean, I have it for free, and it seems neat, so I'm probably going to check it out. Lashbrook has been trying to buckle down and work on beating Armored Core 2. That game is way too hard, though. Yeah, I definitely bounced off of Armored Core at some point. I don't know if it was 2 or 1. I can't remember at this point. But I remember being like, I would definitely love Armored Core. And then playing Armored Core and being like, I love a lot of this, but I don't know if I love playing it. Murder by Numbers is a fun murder mystery Picross game. Yes. So the Picross like puzzly kind of thing was what attracted it to me. It seemed like it had good vibes, and again, was free. So I was like, oh, I'll try it. So we'll see how I fare with it, but I like the premise. So all right, we got 2 stickers that have to go on here. 17 and 18. I don't like doing stickers this late in the stream, but we'll see. They got to get done. We'll see if I can do these properly. These are weird because, like, Does this kit need it? Does the drone shield need these stickers? Like, it's kind of interesting because it's not just the gold outline here. It's also red, but there already is red. So it's just like, I don't know if this needs it, but it looks kind of cool with it. So, sure. Whatever. There's not a lot of stickers on this kit. We're almost done with them. We're just going to have the ones that are, once these are done, all our other stickers here are on the wings. So we won't have to worry about those stickers for a little while because I'm not doing the wings until Monday. And then after the wings are done, because that'll be Monday stream will be the wings here because we're going to finish up our this part, the drone shield. Then Suletta with Haru is the next thing we're going to work on. I don't know how long it's going to take. I know there's a lot of different eyes. Like we're going to have a lot of choices on this kit. I might do a poll, or we'll just kind of converse about it. But that's what Monday's stream is going to be, doing the wings on this kit, the wings cloaking device, I should say, and then kind of finishing it up, and then after that we'll move on to Suletta. And that should be fun. A little different vibe. C26 is right here, and then we'll need C16. Just finishing this up. One thing that's kind of cool about the shield is the way it's got a hole in it, because it's got the peg for the arm, so it can go on the arm here. But then it also has a peg, so you can put it on a base if you want to have it be like in flight mode. I always thought that was neat. And of course, you open these up, and we need. So we got C2. We need C16. A20. Oops. Oh no. I'll get that later. Gotta remember. I dropped something that I don't need right now, but I will need in a minute. I'll need later, I should say. Yeah, if there's anything else y'all been playing or watching or anything like that, you can let me know. The last thing I want to talk about in the kind of anime / what I've been watching, and I was waiting to talk about this because I don't know why. I don't know why I was waiting on this anyway. There's no big reason. So I guess we should talk about the trailer. A new trailer dropped because we're getting close to release and because of San Diego Comic-Con and all that, for the Netflix live-action One Piece series. And I like this trailer better than I liked the first one, for sure. Buggy, getting to be physical and move in the space. Buggy, I think, is the best interpretation of live action interpretation of anything. I like it. I still don't think it's going to be good, and I'm not necessarily excited to see it because while the banter between Sanji and Zoro is classic, the banter between other characters felt shitty, not fun. I thought Mihawk's sword looked bad, but that is a hell of a well done Kobe. Kobe looked good. I think young Kobe looked fun. I did not think that Kobe would be in this thing because one of the issues I have with it is that it's 8 episodes. And according to IMDb, Arlong appears in 4 of them. Now, it could be in flashback. It might not be that half of this show is the fight with Arlong and Arlong's pirates. It could just be whatever. But, basically every character gets an episode. And I think that's not enough time. Episode 1, Zoro. In episode 2, Nami. Episode 3, it's just and then, yeah, it's oh, and Sanji's here. But the fact that, in 8 episodes, they are at least going to fight Arlong. The fact that we're like 8 episodes to get to Arlong Park, which means that like they're Usopp, like there's no fight, there's no way they're going to fight anyone. Now we see with Sanji, there is some fighting. Mihawk shows up. There's some stuff, right? But I got to imagine that one of my favorite early fights, like fighting those pirates that were pretending not to be pirates at Usopp's like, Usopp's not going to get a backstory basically for 8 episodes. Like there's no way he's going to get a backstory. And it'd be one thing if they were like, if they were like, we're doing some weird shit with One Piece. That is not the angle they're going with. The angle that this production has banked on is the creator of this series likes what we're doing. This is for the fans. We're fans. We're giving you what you never thought was possible. We're doing it. Since day one, the approach has been, finally, we're bringing One Piece in a live action adaptation and we're going to do it right. And it's like, you can't say that shit and then be like, we're getting to, even if it's not through, even if it ends on a cliffhanger, they don't fucking beat Arlong. Just getting to Arlong Park in 8 episodes is like, nah, come on. Come on. Because he's meeting Zoro in the first episode. So that means do we get any of the island? We get Shanks at some point, right? But like, do we see anything before he meets Zoro? Like, I don't know. I'm more mad about it than I should be. Granted. I'm more mad about this live action than is probably warranted, and I'm aware of that. But also, just yeah, I thought this trailer looked better than the previous trailer. I'm still not sold on the sets. We'll see how it goes. I do think that like the interplay between Sanji and Zoro made me happy. I was like, okay, this feels better. I don't know. There's so much to adapt with it, but also they didn't have to. No one is making this product. No one is saying this production had to happen or like someone dies. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing I always want to say, right? There's always conversations about that of like, well, you don't have to be negative about it. It's like, well, they didn't have to make it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. They didn't have to do this. No one is making them do this adaptation. To be fair, the anime did put off Luffy's backstory for quite a while too. Yeah, but like, yes, there were some flashbacks. It's a weird thing. I think 8 episodes. I think they're done. I think your 8 episode cliffhanger is Nami running away and then figuring out where Nami went. I think that's the end of your 8th episode. And then maybe your 8th episode is discussing what happened to Nami and her backstory. But like, I don't think you need to do that. Like, I don't think you need to like really get it. Arlong shouldn't be in half the episodes of One Piece season 1. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. I'm going to take a photo of this kit because we are basically done here. This kit needs wings, but otherwise it's done and it's looking fucking great. So I'm going to take a photo of this right now. Take a nice little photo here. Yeah, we'll scoot this here. Yeah. We're almost done with the Deathscythe. We're going to finish this up on Monday. I'm going to end the stream now. I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out on a Saturday. Monday stream, we're going to put some wings on this. We're going to complete this kit, and then we're going to work on the Soletta figurized kit. It has been a long time since I did a figurized kit. It is the third time that I've ever built a lady. Just a weird thing to say, but it's true. So there's that as well. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. Come check out my stream on Monday. We are going to end this stream with a raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing some cool shit, and we're going to go hang out with them in a moment here. So let's go see who is doing cool stuff that we want to go hang out with. Who is up and out at them. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see how long our friend here has been streaming. I just want to see, because we might go hang out with... Oh, no. They've been going too long. We're not going to go hang out there. Let's see. What about this person? Nope. Jeez. Everyone has been streaming for a long time, and they might be done. All right, we're gonna go raid my friend Liz. My friend Liz is playing Pikmin 4. I don't know how much longer she'll be doing, but she also often streams late, so we're gonna hang out with her as she's Pikmining, because I know that will be a very fun time. So please come along on this raid. If you we always end with a raid, as some chat says yes. So we're going to go do this. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you will come along on this raid. I hope you come back on Monday as I finish up this excellent model kit. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.